Okay, so far we have seen like once we are receiving the source file from the source team, then what all validations we have to do, right? We have seen multiple test cases and different scenarios that how you can handle those files. Okay, quickly I will revise all those concepts what we have discussed. The first thing is count of source files. Okay, as a ETL tester, you should check that the number of source files what you have received is exactly same what was expected. Okay, and then we have discussed the action plan as well. The number of source files is not exactly same what was supposed to be expected, what was supposed to be received. Then what you have to do. This is very important. Okay, you should know that what is the course of action you have to take. Very important. Okay. And then we have discussed multiple concepts that what might be the reason if the source file is and the number of source files is not correct. Then we have seen that transaction or holiday handling, how you are going to take care of this and what is holiday handling. Then we have seen data rollover concept as well, rollover the data. Okay. After this, we have moved, then FRD documents, we have seen that all the requirements must be mentioned in the FRD document, and then you have mapping aspects. In mapping aspects, you'll be having tables and the columns, details, transformation logic of the columns, and the data size and data type. Okay. Then file formats. Once you have received the source file, you should check the file format is correct or not. And then rows count, header, trailer, variance check, completion of file download. Then with the example, we have seen full load validation, incremental load validation, and truncate load validation. This is very important, especially to the freshers, the interviewers, they used to ask this question. Okay. Or else if you're working in any ETL project, this is a very commonly used term. You should know this. You should know the difference. Okay. Then yesterday we have seen delete or archive file validation. Why we go for delete or archive validation? We have seen that if you're not archiving the existing files, so what will happen? You will have duplicate records and then restricted data. Okay. These are the different formats in which you can get data. Okay. Nowadays you have the concept of API as well. You're using API to fetch the data. And then we have seen the control M, the different pages of control M. I have shown you the high level, that function of the control M. Hope that was clear that in control M, you can order the job. If you have multiple jobs, 10, 20, 50, 100, you can order all the jobs in a sequence. So automatically all the job will run one after other. If some jobs have dependency and if a particular job is getting failed, so other job will not run, right? And then we have seen that you can get the failure notification as well. If any particular job is getting failed, so you'll be receiving that failure notification that why this particular job has failed. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? You should know control M. This is very important. After this, we want you can add this on your resume that you have worked in control M. This is job control M. Control M is the job scheduler. This will just schedule the job as per your convenience. Whenever you want to run that job, it will run automatically. And there are a few other customization what you can do, and we have seen all those things yesterday. So believe me, guys, the things which I have discussed yesterday about control M, that is more than enough from testing perspective. Okay, so final call. Any question? After this, I'll proceed with the stage load. Any question?
No.
No question. Okay, fine. So, so far in ETL, you know, where is this? Just a minute. Yeah, this is fine. So this is again a typical example of ETL. Okay, is this visible? Okay, so here you can see like these are the data sources. So from these sources you are getting the data. I'm again repeating, the data sources can be any sources. Most of the students, especially freshers, they get confused. The data sources are nothing but the text file. It is not necessary. I'm repeating, it is not necessary. Most of the students, they will make this mistake in interviews. They will think that, okay, the data what we are getting from the source system is always in source file. No, you can get data in any other database as well. Suppose a particular source, they will tell you that we will send you data in Microsoft SQL Server. So they can send you data in a SQL Server, or maybe they have very old system on which they are working. Okay, a very technically old system, so they can give you data on that particular system as well. And you have SaaS application, many other applications, web services, APIs, or at last you can see you can have files. So you can get data from all these sources. That depends on the source team how they are going to send you data. but this must has to be already agreed with the business team or the source team that in which format you will send us the data. So we have completed this first part. Okay. Now, if you're receiving data from source team, what all validations, what all checks, what all test cases you have to write. This is very important. Okay. This part we have covered. If you're considering this slide, so extraction, we have covered this part, that how to extract data from multiple sources. Okay, here in this slide, this data sources, we have covered this part only right now. Okay, then we'll move to a staging area. Then you'll see that warehouse, data mart, and then finally users. Okay, I'm repeating, guys. Any question, please tell me. Is this clear? Anyone please confirm? Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So if this is clear, that's well and good. Now let's proceed to the next one. Before covering this slide, no, actually my session, it covers this slide and then this notepad. Okay, so we will be covering both alternatively. Okay, this is fine. Okay, control, I'm still here. We have seen. Now coming to the load stage. Now, what's this? Yeah, you have extracted data. After that, what you will do? After that, you will load that, right? You have data loaders or the jobs, and you will load data in the staging area. Correct? No, you will load data in the staging area. So I'll show you this after extraction. On the slide. After extraction, we are loading in the staging area. So we will discuss about this in the staging area, what all things we are doing. Okay, now take the example. Okay, my voice is audible to you, right, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So see, it is like suppose you went to a mall, okay, and you have done some shopping, okay. You have bought some snacks, some cookies, and then rice, pulses, and then some departmental saman like soaps, detergents, and some shoes, clothes, and all those things. Okay, so you have bought articles from different department. Okay, so once you will come to house, so what you will do? You will keep all those things in a common area, correct? And then maybe like if you have bill, you will cross check that all the items what you have purchased is there or not. Okay, and sometime if you are more concerned, you will check the price as well, that how much discount they have given, what the taxes they have taken, and all those things, right? And then you will do the reconciliation that everything is matching or not. Someone is speaking, sorry, your voice. Okay, those who are not speaking, please go on mute. Okay. Perfect. So it is exactly like that. So once you have done a shopping, so from mall you will come and you have a lot of articles what you have purchased. You will keep it in a common area in your house, right? And then you will check that the items what you have purchased is there or not. Then maybe you will check the bill, the price, the taxes, what you have paid, GST, CGST, and whatever it may be. Okay. And then finally you will check that what the discount they have given. Okay. So it is exactly like this, guys. The stage we are doing exactly like this. Okay, you have extracted data from multiple sources. These are different sources you have extracted data. Now see, a staging area is like common area, common place in your house where you are just dumping the data. You can see I am dumping the data in a common area. So that is why staging area is also known as dumping area. If this is a question you're getting an interview, why staging is known as dumping area? Because you can tell that in the staging area, we are directly dumping data what we are receiving from multiple sources. Okay. Now, is it necessary that in a staging area you will be having only one table? So of course, sometime you will be having one table, or sometime if you have multiple sources, you will be having multiple tables in a staging area. Like example, I will show you. Here we have seen that for Shoppers Daily, we have a file. Okay. And suppose this is a file of Mumbai. Okay, this is the data which I have received from Mumbai source, and this is the data present here. Okay, now just a minute, guys. Shoppers Mumbai. Let me clear this table as well. Shoppers Delhi. Shoppers Delhi. I have saved in Delhi only. Okay. Okay. Let me get a table Mumbai. This is the table. Separate table for Mumbai. Object name Shoppers Mumbai database. Okay, now if I will show you, now we have two tables in a stage, right? What are those two tables? Shoppers Mumbai and Shoppers Delhi. I will show you this. This is one table, Shoppers Mumbai. And then I have one more table, Shoppers Delhi. Now, anyone can you tell me like why I have created two different tables, Shoppers Delhi and Shoppers Mumbai? Any idea? No idea?
To extract the data.
To extract the data. So you want to show you here that if we are getting if you're getting data from two different sources in two different files, like Delhi shop, they have sent me in this file shoppers underscore Delhi, and from Mumbai I have received data in shoppers underscore Mumbai. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here is, so if you're receiving data from multiple sources, so maybe if you want, you can keep this data in multiple different tables. So that is why I have created two separate tables, shoppers Mumbai and shoppers Delhi, so that whenever I will receive any data from Delhi, I will insert in that Delhi table. Okay, but if someone can ask me question that Tanvir, is it mandatory that if you're getting data from multiple sources, you have to keep that in multiple tables? No, it is not mandatory. That is totally based on your project requirement. Okay, that is not mandatory. I'm repeating, that is not mandatory, guys. Okay, that totally depends on your project requirement. Let me show you this. So in Delhi, I have inserted one record. Now you can see that record is there or not. See, in Shoppers Delhi, you have this record. Similarly, if you want to insert in Shoppers Mumbai, so I will insert the data in Shoppers Mumbai, and then I have to change this file name as well. Okay, why I want to change this? Why I need to change this file name? Who will answer this question?
Because it is Delhi now.
Because now I want to extract data from Mumbai source, so I need to keep that in Mumbai table, right?
Mumbai.
That is,
Yes.
yeah, very good, perfect. So this must be Mumbai, and you have to take care of the exact file name. Okay, the file name should be exactly same. So what I have done, I have changed here that bulk insert. I want to insert data now in Shoppers Mumbai table. From which file? The file which is present at this location. Okay, and the file name is shoppers underscore Mumbai. Okay, very simple. Data has been inserted. Now let me show you the data. Select a star from shoppers underscore Mumbai. You can see. So is this clear? Any question on this?
No.
So what I've tried to show you here is that if you have multiple sources, you can load data in multiple different tables. Okay, hope that is clear. Okay. Okay, fine. So this is done. Staging area. So in a staging area, we are dumping the data. Now we have dumped the data. Okay, what next? After dumping, what you will do? Any guesses? Any thoughts, guys? I've shown you here now that we have received data from Mumbai and Delhi and have loaded that in a staging table. Okay, as it is. After that, what you will do?
Load the data.
Archive the data.
Sorry. Sorry, someone has told something.
Archive.
Or Q? Sorry, I'm not getting. Can you message? Okay, see. Yeah, sorry. Archive the data. Okay, fine. I'll come to that archive part. Okay. Fine. So you have loaded data into the stage. So after this, you have a concept of audit tables. Okay, what is this audit table? Any idea what is this audit table? Anyone?
Control the flow of data, sir.
Okay. So what's the general meaning of audit?
So, like there is that historical data is which is historical data, sir. If I want to take data like date of today is 25 January is there now. So I want to extract data of 25th January only. So I will control the data like I want to only 26 audit table like date, sir, like that.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, perfect. No, perfect. I think Siraj was telling, right? Siraj,
Yes,
you
sir.
were speaking. Okay, perfect. Very good. That's good. First of all, let's try to understand what's the meaning of audit. Okay, so audit means it's like inspection, right? No, you all have heard about audit. So it is like inspection. Okay, so how that fits here? Let's try to understand. This is a very important concept. Once you have loaded data, okay, you have data in the source file and you have loaded data. Suppose in this source file of Delhi, example of take the source file of Delhi. Okay, here suppose you have four records. No, I have we have only one record here. No, so suppose for example we have four records here or five records. Okay, and in the stage table you have received only four records. In the stage table, how many records you have? Only four records. Okay, so you are missing one record, correct? Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes,
In
yes.
source file, how many records you have? Five
5.
records, right? And suppose after loading data in the stage table, you have only four records. How many records is missing?
1.
One. So how you will come to know that one record is missing? Or you will ignore that? Okay, no issue, leave that. That one record is missing, that's not a problem. Leave it. What you will do? You will do the analysis or you will ignore it?
Analyze.
We'll do the analysis, right? Then why the particular record was missing, right? So similarly for this, you have a concept of audit table. So what audit table will do is in the audit table, you will get that how many source from the source file, how many records you have received and how many records were inserted. Like this is example of audit table I have taken here. Okay. In this audit table, so you will get this information that on a particular date, if I have done the job, suppose on 14th of September, I have done the job. So how many records were received? Suppose 180 records received. So how many records were inserted? How many records were updated? How many records were rejected or failed? Okay, and what is the batch? And what is the process ID? Okay, so when you will run a job to load data in a staging, okay, so after that, immediately audit table will also be populated. Okay, I'll show you. I've created audit table here. So this is the audit table. This will also be created and you will get all this information that on which date the job was run, how many records were present in the source file, then in that how many records were inserted, how many updated, how many records were rejected. Okay, so this is the use of audit table. Then you might be thinking, what is the batch and process ID? So batch is nothing when you're running a job, control M job. No, so each time when you will run the job, a new batch ID will be created. Okay, each time when you will run, a new batch ID will be created. And in that particular control M, we have seen that we have multiple other jobs as well. So once you will open the control M folder, so for that folder, you have a batch. And in that folder, you have multiple jobs. So for each job, you have multiple process ID. So that ID will be created. Okay. And then from this table, you can see that how many records were inserted, rejected, updated, or whatever it may be. Okay. Do you got any idea about this? Or you are confused as what this is? Yes or no, guys? Is it clear,
Yeah.
everyone? I'm not sure if this is clear or not. Let me show you this. Audit table. Audit table stage.csv cannot be opened. I think this is opened here. This is opened here. One row affected. Now I can show you this. So this table is known as audit table. And in this, you can get the full information that how many records are present in the source file. Okay, so for this example, what I was showing you, how many records are present in the source file? Five records. Okay, so it will show you here that 5 records are there. So how many records were inserted? I told you, suppose only 4 records are inserted, so this will show you 4. So from this audit table, you can see that how many records were inserted, received, or any records are rejected. So if it is showing 1 record is rejected, then you will come to know that, okay, 1 record has been rejected, and then you can do the analysis. So guys, this is the benefit of audit table. So once you will run any job, okay, so after that, automatically this table will be loaded. Okay, and this is part of the control M job, in that they will implement the logic for this as well. Hope this is clear. Any confusion on this audit table?
No.
Anyone who wants me to repeat?
No.
Okay. So you have to check the audit tables as well as a testing. Okay, because suppose if this audit table is not giving you correct information, suppose this records, there is no records rejected, but even then audit table is showing that 1 record is rejected. So you will get confused, right? So you should check that the audit table is giving you the correct information or not. Okay. So that is what I have told you, audit table validation. Rejected records for or whatever it may be, count comparison between source file and the staging table. So what this audit tables does, this will count, this will do a comparison of the data which was present in the source file and a stage table. So from this, it will be very easy for you to find that if any records are rejected or not. But before that, you should test it that this has been coded correctly from the by the testers, so by the developers or not. Audit columns created modified. Okay, so you have this particular date, and then in this date I have mentioned that this was around on 14th September. So you have multiple other dates as well, records modified, records updated, and all those will be there. But this is very important columns. You should know this will give you information about the total stats of the records which was sent by the source file and what has been loaded in the staging table. Variance check. Okay, anyone can you tell me how we can do a variance check here? And what is variance check first of all? What is variance check? Who will tell? Guys, we have discussed the variance check, so please revise the concepts. Okay, what we are discussing, what we are studying. If you will not revise, no, so you will forget. And if you have any confusion, please go through the slides. I'm sharing the recordings, and even if it is some confusion is there, you can connect with me anytime. Okay. If you remember, we have told about variance check that suppose if you have received, you might remember now in the source file, we have 10 records. Okay. And suppose the variance check is 20%. So what does this mean? That if more than 20% of record is invalid or getting rejected, then we don't have to accept it. If less than 20% record is getting rejected, that's not a problem. Please load the data. Okay. So like take the example of this particular source file. In this source file, how many records we have? 5 records, right? So do one thing here. Total, how many records are there? We have 11 records. Let's make it 10. Okay. And suppose the variance check is 20%. Take the example. Okay. And then we observe that this particular data was missing. And this particular data was missing. And these two are the mandatory columns. Okay. So these 2 records will get rejected. Okay, because these 2 are the mandatory columns and data has not been sent by the source team. So those 2 records will be rejected. So how many records are rejected now? 2 records, right? Now, percentage rejection. What's the percentage rejection, guys? 20%. Okay, so it means 20% of the records are rejected. Okay, so if 20% of records are rejected, so it is fine, no issue. You can load the remaining data. Okay, that's not a problem. That's the meaning of variance check. If it is 20%, and this percentage will be, it's not a standard format, that totally depends on project. Some project they will keep it as a 10%. Someone will keep it as a 5%. Someone will keep it as 30%. That totally depends. Okay. But suppose you have one more record in which this particular data was missing. Okay, this was missing. So now how many records are rejected?
3.
3 records are rejected. Okay, very good. Percentage rejection, 30%, right? Now tell me, will you load the remaining data?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Why? No, you will not load this. Why? Because now the rejection is more than the variance check. Variance check was 20%. That if 20% or less than 20% records are rejected, that's not a problem. We will load the remaining data. But if it is more than that, if it means that's an issue, don't load the data. Please check with the source team. Okay. Is this clear, variance check?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Now from this audit table, tell me, can you calculate the variance check from here? If I will tell you that, please calculate the variance check for this. Can you calculate it? Yes or no?
30%.
Yeah, no, okay, we will calculate how much it is. But my question is, can you calculate or not? Yes, we can calculate because we have all the data here. Total records was 180. Out of this 180, 10 records are rejected, right? 10 records are rejected. So records rejected is how much? 10.
10.
Okay. So if I will ask you percentage rejection,
10%.
how much? 10 is how much percentage of 180? Okay, so this will come close to, I think, 6 to 7% or something like that, if I'm not wrong, right? Okay. Whatever it may be. So sorry. So this is the stats. Okay, fine. So now the rejection percentage is 7%. So from this you can check. Now if the variance check is 20%, suppose it is set as 20%, so it is fine or not? Percentage rejection is less than 20, close to 6 to 7 or 8%. It is less than 20, then it is fine, not an issue. But suppose if the variance check here is 25%, then what's the issue? What you will do?
We will check with the source team.
You will check with the source team that the data quality is not good. Please
Not good.
send the file again. Okay. So this is the use of audit table. From audit table, you can get an idea that how many records were inserted, how many records were rejected. Okay. And all those informations. And from this, you can calculate the variance check as well. Any question, guys? No questions. Okay, this archive and zip, this is exactly same like what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, now comparing this archive and zip with the audit table. So what happens in audit tables? No, so when suppose I have run a job, you got this stats. Again, if I will run some other job to load data, you will get a new record, and that will tell you that how many records are present in that source file, how many records are inserted, and what is the new batch ID, what's the new process ID. It is like that. So n number of times if you're running the job, okay, different jobs, new entries will be created here. Okay, but sometime what will happen in the project, maybe your project manager will tell you that, okay, if you're running these jobs again and again, so new records are getting inserted, and this table will become very heavy in the sense that lot of records will be loaded in this table, then table size will grow. So do one thing. So once you have more than 1000 records, so delete the old records. Okay, I am interested only in seeing in the latest 1000 job run stats. So in that case, what you will do, you will delete the records, or you will archive that and you'll move that in some other table. So this is known as delete, archive, and zipped. Okay, is it clear, guys? Any question? These are very simple concepts. Any confusion? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay, no. Then you have the next one is duplicate file from source. From source. So what is the meaning of this? Duplicate file from source. Anyone can you tell me? Just apply your common sense here. These are common sense questions. I'm not. This is not technical perspective I'm asking. Apply your common sense and tell me. Okay, see, very simple. Suppose I've shown you yesterday as well. By mistake, a particular source they have sent you. Suppose shoppers_daily, you have this is one source file. Okay. Purposely, I'm keeping it in capital I. Okay. So and then you have got. Okay, fine. Suppose you got two files from the same source on a particular day. Then what will happen? When you will load it, so you will get duplicate data in this table in the shoppers underscore daily, right? You will get duplicate data, correct? No, that's an issue.
Yes.
So in that case, what you will do? You will load the duplicate data.
No.
No, you will get back to the source team. That why you have sent the duplicate duplicate file, same file twice. Okay, that is fine. You will get back to the source team. But you see, you never know that down the line they will do the same mistake again. Because suppose if the duplicate file is there, okay, and you have loaded the data, because the job, maybe the job will not throw any error message. Sometimes it happens. So what will happen ultimately? On the report, you'll be showing duplicate numbers, double number. Okay, and that's a negative thing, right? You will be having bad impact in front of the business stakeholders. They will tell you that why you're showing duplicate numbers. And then you cannot tell that, okay, the source team has sent duplicate file. That is why we have loaded. So the business stakeholders will tell you that, I know I am not concerned with the source team. Why you have not implemented this check in your code. Okay. So that is why even if the source team is sending the duplicate file, you should take care of this. You should implement some logic in the code that if the duplicate file is there, so job must fail. Correct? No? So the job will fail, you will get an email notification, and then you will start thinking that why the job has failed. And then you will come to that, okay, the duplicate file was received from the source team. So that is what you should check this scenarios as well. Okay, and this is very, very common scenario. And interviews, they used to ask that if you're receiving duplicate file from the source by mistake, what you will do? You will load the data? No, we will not load the data. Expectation is if I will run the job must fail. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Any question on this? Anyone, please tell me if you have any question. Anyone who wants me to repeat? Guys, you're not speaking. Please tell me. Sai Kiran, is it clear? Understood?
Yes, I understand.
Vinay? Vinay, have you understood this? Vinay is sleeping. Okay, Vinay has replied, yes, fine. Okay, very good. If you have understood, very good, perfect. The next is the multiple files from source. Okay, who will tell me what is the meaning of this multiple files from source? And what is the difference between duplicate file and multiple file? Guys, why you not speaking? You have to speak, then only I will understand. No, you are getting this or not. Multiple, what is the meaning of multiple?
2 or 3 or
More than one, correct? Multiple means more than one. Oh, simple. So suppose on a particular day, this is not duplicate file. Suppose I will tell you. Suppose this is the file which was sent on. Today is 25th, no? On 24th January 2022. Okay, this is one source file. And then this is the new source file. 25th January. Okay. So what is the meaning of multiple source file from source? Maybe the file is open. File is open. Where is the file? Where is the file? Okay. Not sure what's the problem with this. Don't save it. Okay. Shops. That's one 25th 012022. Okay. Now suppose today is 25th of January, right? Fine. No, today is 25th of January. So what you are expecting? You are expecting from source that they will send you data of 25th only, correct? But what they have done, by mistake, they have sent the data of 24th and 25th both. Okay, by mistake. Okay, it has happened that they have sent the yesterday's file again because already they have sent this data of 24th and you have loaded in a staging table. Now today you are expecting data of 25th only, correct? No, today you are expecting data of 25th only. Okay, but by mistake the source team has sent you data of 24th and 25th both. By mistake they have done this problem. First of all, tell me, okay, I want response from you guys. You guys are not replying. This is a duplicate file case or not? Yes or no? Not a duplicate. Very good. This is not a duplicate file. Please make a note. That is what I'm highlighting here. Duplicate file from source, that is different test case. Multiple files from source is a different test case. Okay, so here what is happening, on a particular day you are getting multiple files, okay, from source, and by mistake they have sent you this. Okay, you will run the job. Now what is your expectation? Now you should give me the answer. What is your expectation? You will load the data, right? And you will load the data and you will show the number on the report. Everything is fine, right? Yes.
Yes.
So,
Only
uh,
we should load the data only 25th.
yeah, see, if the job will take both the file and it will load the data from both the file, what will be the problem? See, already you have data of 24 January. Yesterday you have loaded, right? And again, if today you are loading data of 24 January, so what will happen? You will be having duplicate records of 24 January, correct? No?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So in this case, what should happen if you're running the job and job is looking that, okay, two files are present from the same location. So the expectation is job should fail. Job should fail,
Okay.
correct? No. So once the job will fail, you will get an email notification that this particular job has failed. Okay, and in that attachment will be there of the log file. So when you will do the analysis, you will find that okay, the job has failed because it has found two files. Two files, okay, and then you will check with the source team, and then they will fix the issue and they will send you new set of file, right? That is fine. But suppose if the job will not fail and it will take the data from both the files, okay, then what will happen? You will be having duplicate records. Or sometime what will happen on ad hoc basis, the job will take any one file. So again, there is a risk. Suppose if it will take this file, so what will happen? You will have duplicate data, correct? So that is why this is multiple source file validation. Okay. And you should check as a tester, you should test all the scenarios that if I'm placing multiple source files, what is happening? The expectation is job should fail and all these things. Okay. So these are the very core concepts of any ETL project I'm teaching you. Okay. Any work in any ETL project when you will face this scenarios. Okay. Fine. Any question, guys? Are you understanding or not?
Yes, I understand.
Anyone who wants me to repeat? Sai Kiran,
No, I
understood?
yes, I understood.
Okay, Imran, understood. Okay, sure. Okay, please ask me if you have any questions. Yeah, you guys
Yes.
are not asking question only. I am asking questions. Please ask questions. Okay, whatever it may be. Don't think that the question is silly or whatever it may be. Ask questions. Okay, think about positive and negative scenarios. Okay. Okay, perfect. So this was multiple files from source. We have seen that what you have to do. Next is data screening checks. Okay, table structure, size and type, constraints, primary, not null, unique, and duplicate checks. This is again like now we are entering into the table. Till now we are talking only about the source file. The source file is correct or not. If it is duplicate, what will happen? If it is multiple, what will happen? Okay, if the file format is not correct, what will happen? If the count of file is not correct, what will happen? If the count in the data and in the trailer is different, what will happen? If the number of columns is not same, what will happen? We have seen all those things about file. Okay, now let's enter into the table. Now you have loaded data into the table. Okay, so you should not only rely on that file validation that okay, file we have tested, everything is fine, but you should check the data it is present in the table. So that is what now we will discuss, what all things you will test in the table. Table structure, size, and type. What is the meaning of this? Any idea? Just I'm asking you, apply your common sense and tell me. I don't want the exact answer. Okay, whatever is coming, just tell me. Table structure, size, and type. What does this mean, guys?
How many columns and what was
Perfect.
the size of the table?
Perfect. Very good. Perfect. Very good. See, what will happen now? In your project, you will be having a mapping document. Okay, the mapping document will be like this. Specs. Okay, in this mapping aspects, sorry, they will mention that how many tables you have. Like here you have seen that we have a table with the name shoppers underscore daily. Okay, so here they will mention that table name. This is the table name shoppers underscore daily. Okay, and then they will mention that columns. Okay, how many columns you have in this table? Shoppers underscore daily, how many columns were there? Date, sales, tax, cost, right? These all things will be mentioned in the mapping aspects. Date, you have date. Suppose I think date of that. Okay. Then you have sales. then you have tax, then you have cost. Okay. So this information will be mentioned in the mapping aspects or mapping document. Every ETL project will be having this information. And then they will mention data type. So this is date, or if it is time, whatever it may be, they will mention that. If it is integer, mention integer. Okay. Or sometime if it is varchar, they will mention the size. Okay, the size maybe like if it is 10, 5 or 20 or 30, whatever it may be. Okay, in the case of varchar, that will come into picture. Okay, or if you're working in Oracle database, so you have different data types. Okay, or any other database, you have data types. So in mapping aspects, a mapping document, so your business analyst will share this with you. Okay, and they will mention that how many tables are there in a particular table, how many columns are there, and what is the data type of that column and data size. So as part of this testing, what you have to test it in this shoppers daily table. First of all, these 4 columns are present or not. Okay, now let's check it. Let's start from shoppers daily. 4 columns are there or not? 4 columns are present. Okay, so this is pass. Now next is column name should also match date order. This is date order, right? So it is mentioned as date order. Then you have cost, sales tax. Okay, so the name is also correct. The exact name should be there, but you should not concentrate on that upper and lower case. That is not a problem. Okay, and then after that you should check that size as well. If the size is mentioned here, like 10, 5, 20, you should check that as well. Okay, hope this is clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So where is this? So this is known as table structure, size and type, and this is one-time activity. You don't have to check this every time. So just once after creating table, just check this. If it is fine, that is fine. Okay. Any question on this, guys? Table structure validation. No questions?
No.
No.
Okay. Let me delete all these things. This was we have discussed in the last batch. Okay. Then you have constraints, primary, not null, unique, duplicate checks. Now tell me, who will tell me what is the meaning of this constraints?
Means primary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, data is some not null means missing some. I mean, column low. I mean, column में कुछ नहीं empty रहना. Unique means unique values.
Unique values. Very good.
Duplicate नहीं
Perfect.
रहना. Duplicate
नहीं रहना.
Duplicate check means फाइल में कुछ duplicate same values है तो check करेगा वो.
Perfect. Very good. Yes.
Duplicate check using primary key.
Primary key, that also we can do. Very good. Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Well, see, these are the constraints. Okay, like primary, not null, unique, and duplicate checks. We will discuss this one by one, everything. Okay. Okay. So first of all, what is the meaning of primary key? Who will tell me?
Primary key means not null.
Primary key means not null. Okay.
Will not contain any duplicate in the column.
No duplicate should present in the column. Okay. Take care. Correct. Can you give me example of primary key from your daily life? Think and tell me, and you all know the answer. I'm very much sure if I will tell you the answer, you will think, okay, I know the answer, why I'm not told. Tell me from your daily life example of primary key. I'm giving you a hint. What is this? Aadhaar number, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen two Indians? They have same Aadhaar number?
No.
Okay.
PAN
Then
number.
this PAN card number.
License.
Correct. Okay. And then voter
License.
ID number.
Yes.
Right. Bank account number.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. No. So these are the examples of primary key. Primary key means that number which is unique to you. Okay. Number which is unique to you. Okay. The first condition. So what are the conditions for primary key? First condition is that must be unique. Okay. Have you seen anyone who is having your Aadhaar number?
No.
No,
No.
no one can have same Aadhaar number.
Same
No
number.
two person can have same Aadhaar number. Okay, the first condition is unique. Second condition, have you seen anyone whose Aadhaar number is null? Nothing is mentioned.
Oh.
You will ask that, okay, tell me your Aadhaar number. He will tell that, no, nothing is mentioned in my Aadhaar number. It is blank, null. Is it possible?
Not
No, not possible.
No, not possible. Okay, so this must be not null, right?
No.
This must be not null. Okay, unique and not null. Okay, yeah. So for primary key, these two are the important conditions. Okay. Now, suppose in this column, okay, in this column, the business analyst has told me that Tanvi, date is a primary key. Date is a primary key. I told, okay, fine, that is a primary key, not an issue. 1 minute here. Okay, and then the source team has sent me this data. Okay, and then they have kept this as a blank. Now, tell me, I will accept this or not?
No, not at
Why I will not accept?
because it's
because
not.
it's null.
It's a null blank space.
Null or blank. Very good. Because already my business analyst has told me that date is a
Primary key.
primary key. In
Primary.
mapping specs, they have mentioned a constraint. You have a constraint. Constraints. If anyone has worked in retail project, you can correlate this. Okay, you have, this is like primary key. They'll mention that this is a primary key. This is a primary key. So the moment you will see that, okay, date order, this column is a primary key. Okay, but in the source file, what has happened? They have sent this value as a null. So you will accept it, right?
No.
No, you will not accept. So you will get back to the source team and they will tell them that, no, this is a mandatory column. This is a mandatory column, but why you have sent me null value? I will not accept it. Right? So you should test these all things. Okay, if you are not testing this, what will happen? You will load this data. And then on the report, if you will click on that date, it will be showing as null. And the business stakeholders, they'll be confused that, okay, sales is 180, but for which date? Date is not mentioned here. Correct? No. So that is what, as a testing, you should check this constraints as well. Primary key. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Clear.
Okay, now moving to the next constraint, not null. I am trying to cover some of the very famous constraints. Okay, not null. Not null is also known as mandatory. Okay, if someone is telling that this column is mandatory, it means you must be having some value for that column. Okay, you must be having some value for that column. Okay, fine. Now, if I am telling that sales is mandatory, no, sorry, leave this not null. I have not covered one more condition of primary key. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, forgot to cover one more concept. Now, tell me, concentrate on date only. Make this date only. Date only. Okay. Date order. No, this was date order, I think, right? Or concentrate on this column only. Yeah. No, don't move to the next one. Leave it. First of all, one more scenario I have missed here. Now, consider like the source team has sent you this data. Will you accept it?
Yeah.
Okay, you will accept. Okay, now suppose the source team has sent you this data. Will you accept it?
No.
No. Why? All you have
This
all the
one is
records now.
Duplicate. But
This one is duplicate. 18th September data is duplicate. But the for primary key, the condition is that must be unique. That must be unique. But you have duplicate record here. So you will not accept it. You will get back to the source team. You will drop an email to the source team that you have sent this data, but data is duplicate. You will not accept it because we have an agreement with the business analyst that this column is a primary key. Okay. So now is it clear primary key conditions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the next constraint, not null or mandatory. Not null or mandatory constraint. So suppose in this mapping document, your business analyst has told you that this column is mandatory. Your sales column is mandatory. Okay. So now what is happening is in this source file, they have sent this data, but they have kept this blank. This particular value is blank. Now tell me, you will accept it? No, you will not accept it, right? Right? Why? Because sales is a mandatory column now. Sales is a mandatory column, not null. But here by mistake, source team has sent you null records. So you will get back to the source team that why you have sent this blank record. I will not accept it. Why? Because the business analyst has mentioned in the mapping document that this is a mandatory column, mandatory. Guys, you might have filled a form. Okay, here and there, you all have filled some forms. In the form, they will mention something like in a star color, very small star color will be there. Red star color will be there. What is the meaning of that? Tell me.
Mandatory column.
Mandatory
Mandatory column. If you will leave that blank, can you submit that form?
No.
No, right? It is exactly like that only. Okay, it is mandatory. So it means the data must be present. If it is not present, that form, if you try to click on submit, you will get an error message that you're leaving this mandatory column. I think you all have observed that. I'm not sure, but you all have maybe have observed that, right?
Yes.
So similarly, if some column is mandatory, so data must be there. If a data is missing, it means that's an issue. You will get back to the source team. Okay. So this was about that, not only mandatory, and where you will get this information, this which column is mandatory or not, which document?
Mapping.
Mapping document. Okay. Don't refer FRD document for that. In FRD document, you will be having high level requirement that what report is required, how many tables will be there, how many sources will be there, what will be the file format, in which the data will be sent on full load or incremental load. Okay. But the detail about tables and the columns, the rules, the data type and data size will be mentioned in mapping document or mapping specification. Okay.
Okay.
And sometime what they will do, this mapping specification, they will attach this in a FRD document. The FRD document generally that is an MS Word. Okay, and they will attach this Excel sheet in that FRD document. But overall, this will be submitted. Okay, any question on this? If you have not understood, please tell me. Okay. Similarly, you have duplicate checks, and I will come to that duplicate checks later on. Okay, first of all, is this clear or not?
Yes.
Clear. Okay. Suppose you have this age column as well. I think Imran, you might correlate this when you're talking about in SQL. I've told you an assignment of check constraint, age greater than 18 years. Can you remember that? Imran is sleeping.
No.
Okay. Can you correlate that, Imran?
Sorry.
Okay.
So,
Okay, leave it. We can discuss later on. So thing is like, suppose in age column, the condition is they have mentioned that, okay, the age must be greater than 18 years. Okay, the age must be greater than 18 years. Suppose they have mentioned that age in this mapping aspect. Suppose, okay, you have one more column age. Okay, suppose you have a column age, and this is like date data type, and in the constraint they have mentioned that this must be greater than 18 years. Okay, now here in this data, if the source team has sent you that age, it is like okay, you have age greater than 18 or no?
No.
No. Will you accept this file?
No.
No. Why? Because in mapping
Because the
specification,
check constraint.
right, because in mapping a specification, it is mentioned that I will agree, I will accept only age must be greater
18.
than 18 years, but here the age is less than 18. So you will send this back to the source team. Okay, can you give me an example where you have filled a form and they are asking for age constraint is there? Railway ticket booking. Okay,
Yes.
you might see that if you have any child with age, I think it is more than 5 years, or if you're booking flight tickets, they're asking age. Okay, so it is like, and many other platform as well. Okay, they will suppose voter list. If you are getting voter list, so for greater than 18 years, that condition is there, right now. So these are different constraints, guys. Some of the common constraints I have discussed with you: primary key, unique, not null, and some of the constraints is user defined. Like here, age must be greater than 18 years. This is user defined. Okay, or suppose if you have a column, gender column. Okay, you have a gender column. So they will mention that gender must be either M or F.
F.
Okay, gender must be either M or F. M or F. Okay, in the mapping specification, suppose business analyst has mentioned, suppose we have a new column gender here. Okay, gender, and this is like varchar. Size is suppose 5. Okay, and it is mentioned that gender must be either M or F. If it is male, it should be M. If it is female, that should be F. Okay, but what has happened is the source team has sent you this data. Okay, like this format. Will you accept it?
Yes.
Yes, you will accept it because gender is M or F. So they have mentioned it like M or F. Okay. Now, if this data is missing, will you accept it?
No,
No.
Why?
it's missing.
See, it is missing, but tell me,
But
is
there is
gender
no
a mandatory?
constraint. Yes.
No constraint. Gender is not a mandatory column, right?
Mandatory
Please
column.
check the
Yes.
mapping aspect. He has mentioned the gender is a mandatory column. Tell me.
Mandatory.
No, this is not a mandatory column. No, the user business analyst has told that gender should be either M or F. It is not a mandatory. So even if the particular value is missing, that's not a problem because they have not mentioned this is mandatory or not. The only
Yes.
condition is if data is present, that must be M or F.
Or
Now
F.
tell me, you will accept this file or you will reject it?
Yes. 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 Accept.
Accept it. Okay, very good. Now suppose here they have mentioned this like this. You will accept or reject it?
Accept.
Think and tell me. Go to the mapping specification. Mapping specification, what they have mentioned that gender must be either M or
M or
F. M or F. But source team, what they have sent? They have written male. So I don't want male. That should be M. Correct? No? Are you getting? That should be M. So that is what, if they have written like male, you should reject it. Are you getting my question? What I'm trying to make you understand?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So similarly, suppose if this is correct, they have mentioned M. Okay. But here they have mentioned like instead of F, they have mentioned female. So what you will do? You will accept this file?
No.
No. Why you will not accept? Because they have mentioned full female. It should be F. Correct? No. These are some of the constraints, okay, which you should check, and this will be mentioned in the mapping specification. Okay, fine. Any question, guys, on this?
No.
Okay, so this was all about this constraint checks, and then domain value validation and mandatory or column validation. Okay, I think I have covered this mandatory or optional column validation. Okay, 1 minute. Optional I have missed. Okay, suppose in cost they have mentioned, suppose this is no, not cost, gender is there, male is there, and then suppose tax is there, service maintenance charge, maintenance. Okay, they have added a new column, maintenance, and in constraint they have mentioned this is optional. Fine. I think now you can correlate and you can understand what I'm trying to make you understand. If they have mentioned maintenance is an optional. Okay. So now suppose if you have this maintenance column in this source file of daily source file, let me add this column. Maintenance, and assume that this entire data is null, blank. Will you accept it or not?
Yes. Accept it.
Why? But there is no data.
Because it is optional.
It's optional.
It is optional.
Maybe
that is not a problem. Very good. Even if data is there or not there, that's not a problem. We will accept it because already in mapping a specification, they have mentioned that this is optional one. If you have data, well and good. If you don't have, not a problem. Please go ahead. So that is what, even if it is mentioned optional, so that is not a problem. So these are the mandatory or optional column validation. Okay, then you have domain value validation. I have covered this as well. What is this domain value? See, in this mapping specification, you have mentioned that gender must be either M or F. So you are strictly mentioning the domain. So domain is gender, you want M or F. Okay, so this is known as domain values. Suppose if you have a column known as nationality. Okay, so and in this mapping spec it is mentioned that this should be either Indian or NRI. Okay, you have to mention either nationality as Indian or NRI. Okay, and suppose then you have filtered this particulars in the source file. You have this column nationality, and it is mentioned as Indian. Okay, and this is mentioned as NRI. So if you have any other value, okay, suppose if it is mentioned as American, so will you accept it?
No.
No. Why? Because it is violating the domain values. It is violating the domain values. In domain, it is mentioned that this must be either Indian or NRI. But in this value, they have mentioned this is an American. Maybe this particular person will be an Indian only, but he has settled in America. Okay, but you should mention this as an NRI, right? But you have mentioned as an American. So we will not accept this values. Why? Because this is violating the domain value. If you'll get back to the source team, what reason you will tell? You will tell that in the mapping specification, it is mentioned that nationality should be Indian or NRI. So domain values is Indian or NRI, right? So it is violating the domain values. Any question, guys, on this? Any confusion? You understood this part?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow we will see some more complicated concepts, like if you have duplicates, then deduplication, reconciliation, and all those things, and some of the integration logics as well. Okay. So, but please keep on revising these concepts. Okay, this is the very core concepts, and almost we are trying to cover all the aspects of ETL project. If any one of you, if you're working, you will observe that these are the things around which you are working in your ETL project. Okay, anyone in this group who is working in ETL project right now? No one? Oh,
No.
okay, no problem. So once you will get an opportunity to work, no, so your all concepts, your scenarios will be around this only. That's why again and again I'm repeating, guys, please keep on revising these concepts. If you get an opportunity to work, no, these concepts will come here and there every time. Okay, fine, then I will share these recordings with you and we'll connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay, thank you, take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Bye.